Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to FREEWrite Friday. My name is Jessica Lynn Johnson. And for those of you who don't know me, I am the founder and CEO of Soaring Solo Studios, which is a company that's dedicated to the direction and development of one-person plays. And it is my honor to work with people internationally, all over the place. I have people in Mexico and Canada and Africa, Florida, New York, Los Angeles, all over. And it is my great joy to help people tell their stories from stage and nowadays virtually as well. So I am also a solo artist. I toured with my own award-winning solo shows for about 13 years. I'm currently writing my third solo show. I am also a blogger for NoHo Arts. I write Soaring Solo, which is an article all about solo theater and tips and techniques for solo artists to be successful. I am on the advisory board for the Los Angeles Women's Theater Festival. I've worked with hundreds of solo artists and have been a director developer on well over 100 solo shows at this point. So yeah, I'm all about solo. It's my passion, and I'm just so happy that you are all here. I'd love to hear more about you. So please feel free to say hi in the chat. Please tell me where you're tuning in from, where in the world are you? And also where you're at on your solo journey. Maybe you're just curious about solo theater, haven't really made a commitment to it one way or the other, or maybe you're pretty far along in your path, or you've got a few things written and not sure how to put it together. Whatever the case might be, I'd love to hear where you're at and to say hi in the chat. So please do. The mission of FREEWrite Friday is just to create a space for us to come together in creativity and to make some progress on your solo shows, and just spend 20 or 30 minutes together to do that, just carve out time for creativity. And in this space, we really look more at structure and character development on the page versus some of my other free offerings like Isolate, Meditate, Create is more of a heart space where we're meditating and visualizing and writing from that place. In this space, we're more in our heads. It's more of a heady analytical space where we're looking at structure and writing prompts of that nature. So the next FREEWrite Friday is going to be Friday, December 10th at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Central, and noon Eastern. So feel free to sign up for that the same way that you did today. Again, that is Friday, December 10th, 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, and noon Eastern. And all this is on my website as well, but just giving you a heads up. A little bit of housekeeping. If you're going to have your cameras on, just please make sure you're not doing anything distracting, since I will be giving you time to write. And I just want to make sure everybody is able to focus. This isn't like my class in the sense where you're not going to share what you wrote. It's not a performance space, or we're not going to do Q&A back and forth in this space. If you do have questions for me, always feel free to email me at soringsoloartist@gmail.com, or you can fill out a contact form on my website, soaringSoloStudios.com. That's the best way to reach me with any questions or thoughts. Okay, so for the last few weeks, I guess, we've been looking at Joseph Campbell's story structure, The Hero's Journey, and we've been specifically looking at Christopher Vogler's version of that journey, which is a little bit more simplified and more directed towards screenplay writing, but it's completely applicable to solo theater scripting as well. And I want each of you to think of yourselves as the hero or heroine in your own journey. Or if you're not writing about yourself, then think of how your protagonist, whoever that may be, is the hero of that journey, and apply that to what we're going to talk about today. And if this is your first time showing up, or if you've missed a few, don't worry about it. My whole intent is for these sessions to stand alone so that you get something out of each one you're able to tune in for. And you can always catch up on the ones that you've missed on my YouTube channel as well. So today we're focusing on the 8th step of the hero's journey, called the ordeal. The ordeal. And essentially what that is kind of the largest crisis that the hero faces along their journey. It's oftentimes the darkest part of the show. It's death defying a lot of times, whether it's an ego death or physical death that the character is facing. It might be a life or death situation, quite literally. It might be an internal headspace struggle. So it's essentially like a rock bottom survival moment and the most intense obstacle that the character has faced so far in the show. It's almost as if all of the other tests, all of the other obstacles that the hero has been facing in the show so far, this is the most intense of those. So it's not the end of the show, although it is prepping our hero for the rest of the show. And it is getting toward the end. It is not the end. So I'm going to give you some examples from some shows that I've had the honor of working on. Let's see. So for those of you who have seen Wild at Heart with Kamakshi Hart, that is there's a great example of what I would consider an ordeal in her show where, you know, she's been battling it out with shame, a voice in her head throughout the whole show. And a deep way into the show, she meets shame in her living room. She's on the couch and shame shows up. And this time shame is extremely intent on getting her to commit suicide. So there's a lot of temptation to end it, you know, and so that's where kind of the death defying element comes in, and it is definitely rock bottom. It's like, do I want to continue forward in this life? So it's a really intense scene for the character of Kamakshi as she grapples with shame about this issue. Ultimately, she decides to pull through and not commit suicide, and she goes on the rest of her journey. And now she is stronger for having made that recommitment to life, even though things are not perfect, even though she still has some obstacles to face in the rest of the show. She is now stronger for having made that decision to not give in to shame telling her to commit suicide. So that's one example. There's also, for those of you who maybe saw The Whistleblower, starring Johnny Avila, there's a scene quite late in the show where he goes river rafting and he literally faces death. He almost dies when he falls off the raft. And it's interesting because the show is really about him being a teacher and the challenges of being a teacher and the politics of being a teacher. But this particular life and death experience, because he survived it and because he got to the other side of it, he discovered new strength. He discovered value of life in a way that he hadn't before. He recognized his own power in that story. And so even though it wasn't related to teaching directly, it set him up to be such a much stronger man and teacher for the rest of the show. So that would be an example of another ordeal. So in just a moment, I'm going to give you time to write, or if you want to record yourself and walk around and ad lib, that's fine too, whatever works for you. And I want you to think about, in your own life story or the life story of your protagonist, if you're not writing about yourself, what would be an example of an ordeal? What is a rock bottom moment for you that you pulled through? What is one of those tests in life that really pushed you to your limit, where you weren't sure that you were going to be able to face tomorrow? Just a really dark and challenging moment. I want you to think of something like that. And I want you to then also think about, how did that ordeal in your life help shape you to go through the rest of your life with new tools, a new sense of pride about your own strength, a new vigor for facing the next day, whatever it might be. So let's go ahead, and I'm gonna give you 8 minutes, and I just want you to let yourself freely write. Again, we're not trying to be perfect, we're just trying to be expressed. And you don't have to share this with anyone. This is for you. So be very uncensored and just see what you discover, and just write about whatever that experience might be. And maybe there's a few experiences that feel like they are ordeals, and that's fine too. This isn't about getting it right, it's about exploring. So I will let you know when your 8 minutes are up. We have about 4 minutes left, 4 minutes. And just 1 minute left. Okay, please go ahead and wrap up your writing. And I always encourage, if you wrote in a notebook or if you recorded yourself, be sure to transcribe it into a document on your computer so that you're keeping it safe and building your show and building your script, making it real. I also should mention, and we'll probably get more into this next time when we look at the next step of the hero's journey, but the ordeal oftentimes is what is necessary for the hero to reach a reward on the other side of the ordeal. And I think in life, that's often the case. You know, we have to face our fears, we have to face our flaws, we have to go through tests and obstacles to get the richness of the reward on the other side of it, whether that's a relationship or, you know, career opportunities or other dreams and goals, or just a stronger sense of self. That is often in real life how it plays out. So I would maybe start thinking about the rewards, just to use the hero's journey language, that you've reaped after getting through a test, a significant test. But we'll talk about that more next time. So you'll see in the chat, I put lots of announcements. As always, we have a lot of great things going on in our community. My next free class, The Art of Creating the One-Person Play, is happening on Saturday, December 18th at 10 a.m. Pacific, noon Central, and 1 p.m. Eastern. So if you just go to my website, soaringSoloStudios.com, and go under events and free stuff or free class, you can RSVP there and get the Zoom link. And no experience is needed. If you want to bring something that you've written in FREEWrite Friday, you can always do that. And if there's time in class, you can share it. Also, the Hollywood Fringe Festival just sent out an email the other day saying, let's start thinking about, 2022 Hollywood Fringe. So if that is something that's on your radar that you might be interested in, definitely reach out if you'd like to book a consultation with me, and we can talk about if Hollywood Fringe would be a right fit for you, what that might look like. It's a fantastic festival, super supportive, super creative, lots of opportunities to get reviewed, to get awards, and other accolades, and just network and meet fantastic, creative, like-minded people. So I can't speak highly enough of that festival. It's really incredible, and it will likely be back on its old schedule, which used to be every June. It was in 2021 because of the pandemic, it was in August, but they should be getting back into the schedule of a June schedule. So that gives you what, like around 6 months or something like that to prepare, which in my world is a perfect amount of time to get your solo show ready. It's a little enough of time that it's a little bit scary and lights the fire under you, but it's also enough time to really make something meaningful that's ready to do a run at Fringe. So yeah, feel free to email me at soaringsoloartist@gmail.com to talk about that. I do one-on-one coaching. I do power pair sessions, you, me, and another solo artist. And I do small group coaching as well, where there's 6 solo artists in the group. And that's a great way to get outside eyes and ears on your pieces. It's kind of like a solo artist writer's room, which can be extremely advantageous when you're trying to figure out where your own blind spots are, or if you're not recognizing things that you're doing really well and right, and have other solo artists celebrate you. So anyways, reach out to me if you're interested in any of those offerings, and we can look at that. I'm also in the midst of running my Revealed virtual reading series. This is another great stake to put in the ground. Essentially, you just be reading your script in various stages of development, and getting feedback virtually from your virtual audience about where your script's at, how it's doing, what people like, what they don't like, what they had questions about, what they want you to edit or keep or whatever. So it's a great space before you commit to the bells and whistles and full out production for your world premiere to do a virtual reading first and get some feedback. So let me know if you're interested in that. Again, just email me at soaringsoloartist@gmail.com if you kind of want to see what Revealed looks like, and also to just be supportive in this community. Tomorrow, there is a double feature. We have 2 Revealed episodes happening. So let me go to that page really quick. So on my website, if you look under the webinars, readings, and networking events tab under events, you'll see at 11 a.m. Pacific, we have Schmaltzy and Princey, A Diary of a Not So Great Daddy's Girl. So that'll be Mary Lee Herman will be reading that. And then following her at 4 p.m. Pacific time is Amber Sousa with Waking Up to All of Me. And these are just, you can just donate. I mean, if it was $1, $10, whatever you want to give to get your ticket, your virtual ticket, and then you can attend. And I would recommend going so you can really see an artist in the midst of their creative process, be a member of the community, give your 2 cents and weigh in, and also see if you think it might be the right fit for you and a next step for you with your own script. What else? What else? Isolate, meditate, and create. I told you about that earlier a little bit, but that's free meditation visualization recordings that I did. It's on my YouTube channel. There's like 120 plus episodes of it. So if you're feeling blocked, or if you just want more prompts to, expedite your writing process, I definitely recommend Isolate, Meditate, Create on my YouTube channel. It's also just a great way to still your mind and carve out some creativity and self-care for yourself. So go to my YouTube channel for that, Soaring Solo LLC, Jessica Lynn Johnson. Just find me on YouTube. And as I said earlier, the next Free Write Friday is happening December 10th at 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, and noon Eastern. So sign up the same way you did today, and you'll get your Zoom link and can join us for that. And if you missed any Free Write Fridays, they're all also on my YouTube channel, so you can catch up. I think that's everything, guys and gals and everybody in between. So have a beautiful, beautiful creative day, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.